All right. Liz, good morning.
Hey Todd, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing terrific today. It's a beautiful day here in South Florida. So,
I'll have you know it's a beautiful day here in the UK too. Wall to wall
ah,
sunshine. I don't get to say that very often.
oh, exactly, exactly. I can't wait to get on an airplane and come see you. I need a trip to London, right? Come on. And you to
Everybody needs a
Miami.
trip to London.
Come on down. Oh, well, perfect, perfect. I'm excited about today, Liz. I know we kind of been talking about different topics along the week, but something came up with one of our really large manufacturing customers, and we thought, what we could really do is really kind of make it about account management. And
hmm
really, I think John helped with the name, John Gold, and it was more about masterful account management. So that was just I thought it was a good topic. So it's
Definitely.
really, yeah, to get it going. So real quick, here's an agenda of what we're going to be doing today. Um, and I think really kind of the underlining theme is really making the intangible tangible. Okay, so what's going on with your accounts,
Yeah.
especially account managers? And I don't know if you hear this, but I hear this a lot. It's like, I'm an account manager for my company, and maybe I don't have like 20, 30, 40 deals of all different companies coming
hmm
in at once, but I'm kind of
Yep.
responsible for like that one big account, right?
Yeah. I
Or
want to see what's going on.
exactly, exactly. So,
Yeah.
maybe we could talk about how can we help a salesperson out, right? Help them automate a little bit, make sure they're following up with everything they got going on, and even like other people that maybe should be participating, right? And then and then we'll kind of say, hey, how can we also manage all the people that might be at that account, right? All the different companies, all the different people. And then maybe you can handle that, okay, if that's cool. And then what
hmm
we'll and then we'll dive in, and I'll talk a little bit about kind of some of the charts and the graphs, and really some of this account based forecasting that I know we all love to do, but sometimes it's just difficult to do that reporting. We're going to show you a really easy way to do it, everybody. Okay.
Cool.
And then we'll dive into like some upselling, cross-selling. We'll get into kind of how do I get data in and how do I duplicate data, and then also a little sneak, what our little tip of the day, or our little bonus extra.
The
What do you think
bonus
we should do it
item.
on, Liz? What should we do it on today? Your call.
Oh, let me think. Has anything exciting happened today, Todd?
Hmm. Maybe one little thing.
Yeah, one tiny little new release.
Ooh, a new release. Okay, well, we'll dive into that, because current customers, we thank you for your business, and we want to kind of show you what came out today, July 30th, 2020. So with that, I'm going to
Perfect.
stop sharing, Liz. I'm going to let you share to really
Okay,
get
okay.
started on really, we talk about, about, so many people kind of like to talk about, well, the activities that go
hmm
into account management. Sometimes we forget that. Um, so I can see your screen. I'll let you take over here.
Okay, brilliant. So, yeah, all about accounts today, folks. So, we've talked about opportunities, and obviously, that's definitely part of it. But just want to take the focus into, account management. Just because, as Todd said, it comes up quite a lot with manufacturing companies, our insurance customers, again, very focused on a company or a group of companies being able to manage specific activities they want to be able to track and to know, is it happening or is it not happening? Yeah. And that's pretty much what I'm going to start with today. I'm going to show you some things that I just love about Pipeliner. It's just building on all of the stuff that we've touched on so far. Okay. So Todd's going to be concentrating on Bear, which is like the parent account of a couple that I'm going to focus on today. And you'll see how relationships are put together in Pipeline and whatever when he gets to that bit. And I'm looking at this one here. So if we're thinking about account management, so I'm thinking in my head here about, strategies for a company. Applies to lots of different businesses. You might sit down at the beginning of the year, you might look at some of your really key customers and say, well, what is it that we want to achieve? What's our plan for that company, group of companies for a particular, time period? Okay. And some things that you can do to build into Pipeliner to help you manage all of that. So I'm
Mm,
just going to
nice.
open this account here. Okay. Because this is just one of the really easy things about Pipeliner that strangely people forget, and that is just how simple and quick it is to add a field into the system to capture whatever it is that you want to capture. People sort of look at the name and address and everything like that's there, and they sort of feel that that's as much as you can have. Of course, it's just so not the case. So Todd has added this beautiful section here, which is called account strategy.
Ah,
These
you
are
like that?
I
Okay.
like it a lot, actually. I was like, oh, look at that. So this is all the sorts of, data items, bits of information that you would want to be capturing about planning a strategy for an account, So, and the different types of fields, we all know, that lots of different types of fields in Pipeliner, how you can sort of build them up and all of that. So I'm not going to touch on that bit. I'm going to touch in the admin module on activities in just a second, because that's a little even more unusual. Yeah. But just remember that you can capture all of this information just by setting up custom fields. And then if you're using Google or you're using Office 365, right, don't forget the power of a quick and easy template. Because
Ooh.
much as we love, and of course, if you were with us last week, you can access all of this stuff on the mobile app, fine and fair enough. But sometimes it's good to have a piece of paper with you when you're going to, a quarterly review, for example, with somebody, so that you can actually, scribble on it. And then you can speak those notes to the mobile afterwards or whatever. So I
Or,
just
sometimes legit that you'd be driving along and, nothing against a sales manager if you're on the call, but sometimes the salesperson is like, they need to like hand something to the sales manager,
yeah,
email it, hand it to him. Here's the piece of paper of the account plan, the strategy, what's been going on to date. And I think this is an easy way. You don't have to spend the 30 minutes prepping. Just hit the button.
exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And then you can just attach it straight back into Pipeliner anyway. Yeah. So I'm doing this from here just very quickly. I don't want to take up lots of time creating a template. So this is Office 365 Word. I've got our template add-in here. I've set up my template. You can see I've just clicked. If I go back one here to the fields list, I've clicked on all of the fields that I want to include here in my template, and it's going to suck that information out of Pipeliner, and then it's going to put it on this form when it's done. Yeah, it's just
Nice.
going to pull it all out. It's just going to fill it in or not. And I'm going to be able to then just attach that template back to the account in Pipeliner. Okay, so quick aside there, just because Todd's going to touch on the reporting later. And of course, you can report and you can filter on all of these fields. But just a reminder that if you want to access that information, you want to put it out into a document, you might be writing a formal report that you might have to send to the customer. Then you can still get that information easily into a Word template or Excel, depending on what you're using, and then have that attached to the Documents tab here on the account. Okay, so what's that really brilliant for? Really brilliant for looking at an individual account, but also filtering on like-minded accounts,
Mm,
and
that
that
makes sense.
feeds into things like account-based marketing. Yeah, if you're bringing in an account-based marketing strategy, being able to profile your customer base based on some of these values can be very helpful when forming, that strategy. Yeah. So the power of simply being able to customize your own system whenever you want to add in a new field. One of Pipeliner's huge strengths. Leading on from that, of course, then we've got some information here. What do we want to know now? Well, we want to know that people are actively contacting their accounts in line with whatever process we've defined.
Mm.
And of course, we have this really useful last contacted date.
Oh, that's what that's for. Okay.
But you need to know, right? Because this isn't someone vaguely sent me an email at some point, therefore I must have contacted them. No, this is real. So this field only updates when you log specific types of activity in Pipeliner that represent real, genuine contact, not, something that was a little bit more nebulous, right? Because, yeah, we've
Who
all
would have
done
done
that.
that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we've all done that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sure I've been in touch. Now, so what updates this field? Well, firstly, The activities have to be directly linked to this account to update the account last contacted field, right? So what do I mean by that? What I mean is that I could be working on an opportunity, but if I only link my task to that opportunity, it doesn't count as sort of account management. Yeah, I have to have the activity linked to the account in order to update this field. And it's like this. If I click on add activity, if I just put a task in, just to be really specific, this is what I mean. Yeah, it's linked to capacity marketing and it's linked to the account record. It can be linked to other stuff for our enterprise customers, so I could have it linked to my opportunity as well. But this has got to be there in order for it to update this last contacted date.
Gotcha.
It's got
Okay.
to be a call, okay, a completed call. It's got to be a completed appointment, or it's got to be an email that you've sent using Pipeliner. Yeah, so something that you've sent directly in here that feeds from your email integration. So look in here and see this one. We've got an appointment here from the 23rd of July. We've got a call here, but that call is not started and it's planned for the future. So this is the one that's happened already. And that's the date that we're seeing here in the last contacted date. So
Nice.
once you understand it, how
That's
it's
all coming
worked,
together for me now, Liz. It's all
exactly.
coming together.
So as soon as you know, it's like, oh, okay, well, that makes perfect sense. But otherwise, you're thinking like, well, I'm sure they emailed me last week. Why is that last contacted date not filling in? Yeah. What can we do with it? Well, it's a field like any other, so we can do all the great stuff with it. We can filter on it. Yeah. So I just go to my filter here and switch on and go to my custom filter. I can just start typing, probably not in caps, but something that I know, oh, look, there it is. Yeah. So something about the name of the field will do. It doesn't have to be exact at all. So I can say here. Yeah. It always defaults to is today. All we need to do is something like, this month.
Oh, you can make it dynamic? Like,
Yeah,
Liz, let
you
me
can
just hold
make
on.
it.
Can I make it sound like, hey, if I haven't contacted anyone in, let's say, the last, I don't know, month, right? Then it could be in this group. Oh, it's already default last 30 days. Someone else has my issue. Okay. I'm not alone,
Like that.
everybody. Oh, this
Yeah.
is fantastic. And so then I got my group on top where it says the count is 14.
14.
Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's cool because this is just the sort of thing that people always ask about this. Yeah. Now, of course, I can turn this into a report. If I want to go stomping around the office, waving bits of paper going, why aren't people, well, perfect. I've done that actually. Sorry, but I have done that in the past. Let's not go there. But, I can turn it into that sort of report. Okay.
Okay.
Equally, of course, I might want to make my report a little bit more specific. Yeah. So we've got our last contact today, and I'm going to use that again in a second because we're going to talk about automating some of this stuff using Automatizer for those, customers who've got it. Yeah. But again, for our enterprise tier customers, you can really leverage the power of being able to customize your activities. Okay, because maybe, and I know we've got customers who do have account managers who go out on a quarterly basis or maybe a biannual basis, depending on the value of the account. They have a plan that's about the number of meetings that they get. In the olden days, before COVID, of course, face-to-face meetings. Yeah, maybe Zoom now. Yeah. So maybe we want to be able to specifically look at this month's visit reports. That's a very common requirement. Yeah. And that means that it'd be really nice if those sort of face-to-face meetings weren't all tagged as appointments, that we could have something specific that just said visit reports, right? And then you imagine a sales manager, in the activities tab or even in the feed, cup of coffee in hand, nice filter that says their team and this quarter's visit reports. Fabulous. Just scroll through, have a look, see everything that's going on. How would you do that? Well, the first thing that you would need to do is you'd need to create a custom activity type. And we've touched on this. And I happen to have my admin module here in fields and forms. And here on appointments, here's one I created earlier. And you can see that I called it account management visit. But if I edit the form, I've got some nice custom fields on it. Yeah, the sort of thing that you might well want to capture every time you have one of these meetings with your customers. And I'm sure that all of you can think of lots of other, well, I wouldn't want that. I'd want something else. Well, that's fine, because you'd just be clicking on the create new button in your own system and adding in just those fields that are meaningful to you. Yeah, I just put these in. So first thing you would need to do, yeah, is just click on create a new activity type, customize the form, just like absolutely everything else in here. Ooh, that's new. That's going to be told later. And then you'd publish it.
Now,
And
Liz,
then
if I'm a salesperson or sales manager and I want the person who is responsible for adding one of these new custom, appointment type, in there, how long do you think it would take them to do it? If I say, hey, can you take care of me? Can you take care of this, on Friday afternoon for me? Is it like a 3-hour job to do that, or
no, more
okay,
like 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay, okay, there you go.
Let's say 30 minutes, because not everybody does it every day like me. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
but 30 minutes is incredibly reasonable. You can definitely have a cup of coffee in that as well.
okay. Well, this is fantastic. A way to kind of really sort all your different type of appointments,
Yeah.
and because that's so important, I think, when you just do core account management. So that's great.
So how do we do it? Well, then we just add and we just pick. And
Oh,
here are
there
all of
it is.
my fields.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so, normally I'd fill them all in, of course, but again, I'm going to take up time. Yeah, date and time and whatever. Then we imagine that, we're maybe that sales manager. Of course, we can do a report. You're going to be getting into reporting later. But up here, this is just my activity list.
Ooh,
And I can just
fantastic.
filter. And I can just say, what is it that I want to see today? Yeah, I just want to see those. Oh,
So now you're really using those activities and the activity management of accounts to
yeah.
really look for yourself, or a sales manager could look
Or a
for the whole
sales
team.
manager.
Oh,
Absolutely.
wow.
And I can
So
I can
easy.
have I can have this as big as I want. And I can just go through and I can see all the notes and whatever. I can, of course, customize my grid view to include those custom fields that I added. Yeah, so my objectives and all of that. Easy as anything. So before I monopolize the whole session, you can see I'm pretty passionate about this,
I
actually, because
know.
I've been asked about it such a lot over the years, and it's just, this works just so well because it's so flexible, because everybody listening, these are just some ideas from me and Todd, about how you can do this based on what people have asked us. But once then you'll all be able to come up with your own ideas of like, oh God, that's really going to work for us in this specific situation. Yeah. And then, of course, we've got that whole idea of automatizer. Yeah. So very quick and easy process that I'm going to set up here from scratch. So
easy. Is it easy for me too? Is that
yeah.
it'd be okay. Just
Yeah,
you're the
it
master,
is.
Liz.
No, seriously though. If
Okay.
I'm going
So
to do a
every
space
salesperson not
process,
listening, you could do it on your own too.
you could
Okay.
do it on your own. Yep. Or you
Okay.
can set it up for everybody. Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
going to
Okay.
say that what this is going to do is it's going to be looking at accounts, because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I want it to do is, like, every day at whenever, I want it to be looking at all the accounts in our system that meet the criteria that I'm about to put in. Okay. Because let's face it, right? The reality is that this sort of account management process not necessarily going to apply to every single customer that you have in your system. More likely than, not exclusively, but more likely to apply to your larger customer base. Yeah, is where you want to see it. Okay. Yep. So maybe we'll have something like that. Okay, this is my condition. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say count class A or B. Okay, that's easy.
This is easy so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to go for our last contacted day again.
Oh, you're not going to throw in last cont. Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. And I think everybody who sees this can instantly think, oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I really get that. Yeah. So, of course, it depends on your process. Maybe it's 90 days for you. Maybe it's 120 days. It doesn't matter. It's about the idea of it. The specifics are completely in your hands with Pipeliner. This is basically every day it's going to look in the system and it's going to look at all the accounts and it's going to find those big key customers that you really want to keep. And it's going to look and see those that don't have an outgoing call completed against them, don't have a meeting completed against them, haven't had an email for whatever period you choose. And then we're going to plan it for the account manager.
Oh, that's nice. So just an easy
Yeah.
call, right?
Yeah. So we're just
What?
going to create them the call they should be making.
Oh, that's nice. And that's just on your calendar.
Yeah.
Like a reminder. Okay.
Absolutely. And we can put it as high priority and we can fill in, tomorrow's date and all of that stuff that we've covered, before. I'm not going to
Sure.
spend sort of time doing that. Could we send them an email to say, oi? Yes, we could if we want to, but again, I don't want to monopolize the whole thing. Just want to give you an idea about how you can automate your process really easy using Pipeliner and how, these criteria that we've got here can be anything. Yeah, I just went for the classification and that not contacted, but all those lovely custom fields that you created, all of those could be used to identify those customers that you want this sort of process to apply to. And there we go.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
it. Sit back, drink the coffee, scroll through the activities. Where you go.
Nice. So you always make it sound so easy there, Liz. You're gonna.
But it is easy though. I appreciate. I do it all the time. Of course I do. But
Right.
it's the underlying ideas. If you just got the idea that this is something that you can do, because you can, all of you can.
Exactly.
It's thinking about the why and the wherefore, and the how is easy after that.
Nice.
Okay,
Well,
so
because I mean
over to you.
that's so cool. Now we kind of have like, okay, all the information we're tracking about the accounts and the key accounts and how we're really, starting to see it and visualize it, which I love. But, just saying, I need the reminder about who I'm talking to, right, all the time, because it just seems like some accounts, it's just like I have to deal with like 20 people sometimes, and sometimes they're at different companies, and I gotta like bring it all together, Liz. So what I thought I'd do is kind of bring up, I'm going to use this account Bear. Well, we've all probably had an aspirin or two in our life, right? And if I were to scroll down just middle of my detail view here, okay, I'm going to touch right now just about kind of how the accounts and the contacts. When I say accounts, I meant like, because let's face it, in our really large accounts, a lot of times there's different divisions, different parent companies, what have you. But so Pipeline enables you to kind of list those accounts and bring them together. But also, if I click on this org chart button there, it enables me to really kind of visualize it. And I'm a big fan of this, okay? Because number one, it's sometimes like here's Bear in the middle here. Maybe you got to remember maybe there's a holding company above it, right? Or there's other companies that may be underneath your company that you're managing. But it's so nice. Yeah, just by clicking on it, Liz, I then see everything over here and I can like have I can do things with it, right? I can open up the record and dive into it, what have you. But just a fantastic way. And then also, I don't know if you can kind of see, Liz, but when I hover over the logo, it gives me yeah, isn't that right? The little, I don't know, I call it my little person mapper. Okay. And when I do that, all of a sudden now I see the organizational chart of the organization.
Oh.
Okay, isn't that cool? So now I can really say, okay, and a lot of times this may be used for us, where you have like president, vice president, manager, that kind of flow, right? Because that's just kind of good to know. But it's also really easy. If maybe I just want to kind of rearrange, say, hey, change the supervisor here. I can just change supervisor. I'm going to make Warner here the supervisor, and then boom, my org chart's done.
Nice.
Okay. So it's just a nice thing when someone's like, who works for who? Or what's the hierarchy there? You got it
Hmm.
covered on the company structure and the person structure, which I think is so cool. And there's and sometimes, like, when you start, and this is how you go back to the company structure. And sometimes the company structure, although it's maybe laid out in a very nice organizational shape, I'm going to click over here on the relationship graph. Okay.
Ooh.
Because yeah, and what's really cool, so there's two parts to this. Okay. Number one part is on the company record. Okay, so account to account relationships, because it's not all structured
Uh-huh.
sometimes, right? I mean, a good example is like you have like vendors that maybe sell into your accounts at the same time that maybe affect your book of business,
Yeah.
right? And so you can very easily determine, okay, as I clicked right on the relationship here, you can actually map out and explain what those relationships are.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet.
But then let me how I can turn it around. I can make it fit in the view, right? But then if I really wanted to, I can click the cogwheel up here on the top right. And I can say, hey, maybe I only want to see those relationships that I've marked as partners. So I can go through and just say, wow, there's the partner, and there's the partner. So I can see those three relationships of those vendors in it, and
Oh,
those
it's such a good
connections.
view, isn't it? How
Isn't
the
that
others
cool?
grey out.
I know,
Love that.
right? I love it too, right? It's so cool, and similarly, how we can do it, like, in this account view. If I was to pop over to, let's say, a contact, okay, and I like kind of using May's record here. If I were to open up May's record, okay, or even go down through, yeah, let's just open it up. Might be easier. I'll click open, and when I'm on her record or any contact record, I'll see this relationship graph here as well. Okay, so we're taking this to a whole nother level here. Okay,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
right. We're talking about company by company organizational charts. Then we're talking about person organizational charts. And then we're talking about relationship flows with companies, and also those relationship flows and mapping with
Yeah.
contacts. I mean, it's unbelievable. And watch, I'll click on one person, like I clicked on Anthony here. Boom, here's his record right here. And I can go to it. I can add things like a note or a task real quick, like, or that, like, that add a call, right? Because I
Yeah.
haven't contacted, like you said, right? I could do that. Easy enough to, once again, add those relationships about who they are, or their relationship here. Sometimes maybe there's even a dual role, right? But I'm really finding, like, especially those contacts that are like helping guide you through the organization. I don't know. We used to use the term coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, an old friend of mine, Barry Trailer, taught me that whole, the relationship mapping and the coaching along with it was really a way to really kind of make that happen. So it's just it's such a pretty flow to make it all come together. And and if you take the time to do it, I think it's good for you as the salesperson. I think it's great for a sales manager when you're really trying to have to explain the dynamics of the
Hmm.
account, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes, just, sometimes people, retire from jobs, and it's just so nice for the company to really have that deep understanding of those relationships, long term. Okay, so I think it's a good
That
way.
is just, again, thinking of that, account strategy planning for a year, who knows
Oh,
who,
oh,
and how those relationships influence. I mean, it's just
hmm.
invaluable, isn't it?
Right? It's just,
And the number of people I've seen try to do that in an Excel spreadsheet, and
you can't do it.
you can't do it because you just can't visualize it,
Yeah,
whereas pipeline is just so
yeah,
clear in showing you how they all relate. That is
yeah,
lovely.
yeah. And so, I mean, if people come into us and I'm like, I ask them questions like, and they think my questions are very random, right? And I'm like, how much account prep time do you do before, a ride along with your sales manager? And man, they think about it, and an hour or two. Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty standard answer, right? They got to clean everything up, they got to map it, and they got to put it up to that document you did. But I think this is just a nice way to do it here, or in the
Yeah.
mobile app, or what have you. Just a beautiful way to kind of present it. But so that's on that part. But then the other thing says about the money, right? So show me the money. But okay. And really, what I want to know is, because sometimes I might be the owner of that account, right, Liz? But there may be teams behind me, and even in different
Mhm.
divisions, that are really trying to, I don't know, maybe to sell them different products.
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty common thing, right?
Yeah,
So, we
upsells.
yeah, upsell we call it sometimes, a cross sell, additional sale, whatever name your company uses, it works. But here is a great way. Same view here. Okay, so we're still on that last contact. We can go down to the accounts, but look at where we see all the open opportunities. Okay, so you want to know on the fly what's going on with a particular deal. You have a complete list here of all of those kind of deals that are happening, okay, in one central place. Okay,
Mm,
just a beautiful, quick thing. And I want to dive into that. I can click and go. And keep in mind, we talked about it before with privacy. If there happen to be an account manager, maybe, or someone on your team, and they only have access to maybe this one division, that's all they're responsible for, then they'd only see their one. Okay, really cool there. But, or we can really kind of deep dive and say, hey, show me all of these opportunities. And then I'd be able to go through and say, hey, here's even a list view of all of them that we're looking at. Okay, open, closed. And if I want to, here's a field I have in here called owner. I can even look and see who the owner of those deals are. Okay, because maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm the overriding top level manager on the account, but all these other people are the reps that have been assigned to it to work the deals of cross-selling, upselling, what have you. So just
sweet.
isn't that super nice?
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yeah, but me
Yeah,
go
no.
ahead. Go
I was just
ahead.
going to say, and it's that ability to get that roll up idea. Because if you look at that list,
Hmm.
those opportunities are belonging on different records. Part of
Yeah,
that organizational hierarchy
yeah.
that you showed us there. If you look in that primary account name, so
Hmm.
this is what's going on across the whole group. That is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And there may be custom fields like you said before, where we really want to kind of maybe, indicate what division it's for. Some people use the sales unit one,
Mm-hmm.
specifically, and so you can just go ahead and add in that sales unit, okay, which may be the different company divisions that you have, right? And then that may be dragged over, regionally or by product line. So just easy ways to kind of sort it. But which is once again all the deals going on great, but sometimes I got to tell you, Liz, I just want to look at and see just for my one account I'm managing, okay, bear, right, it's doing millions a year, okay,
Okay.
what's going on with it. So even in our opportunity view, we can visualize it.
Hmm.
So uh-huh. So you're probably like, how did you only get the accounts just for this in here, right? Well, let me show you, okay? My trick, okay? So what I've done, I'll pull up my power panel here on the right-hand side. And what I've done here, I've gone ahead and say, you know what? Under the filter, I've said, you know what? The account name contains, and I just typed in my account that I'm working on. I've saved it. So all the time I have all my accounts. So if you have more than one strategic account you manage, you can just click on it. You'd be able to see all of them. But for this one, I just want to say, I'm on Bear. What's going on with Bear? Boom, it gives it to me. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And then
Yep.
sometimes maybe I want to say is like, maybe this is for the particular, target period. Maybe like, actually, let me show you target. Okay. Here's the target. And
Okay.
what I've done here, I said, here's it for the year. Okay. So this is just my 2020 plan.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, I've said total business. What we want to look at is either, maybe overall, maybe we can do it that way. But maybe what I really want to do is say, hey, we'll just leave it untargeted. Maybe I have a 1.5 million. I want to see a total amount of business out there trying to get for this account being 1.5. Okay.
Huh. How you
Okay.
doing?
Yeah. How am I doing? Oh, right there. Look at that.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. Target. Right on target, Liz. Don't forget. But and what did I do last year? Okay, maybe I want to look at last year too. I can do that as well. So you know what? We can really deep dive in it. So right now I'm predicted, right, to do 106% of plan.
Huh.
Okay, pretty cool,
Nice.
right? Yeah, so everyone's like happy with Todd right now. Woohoo, but but then they're like, well, explain every deal, right? Like, how are you going to get there, right? I hear that a lot, right? And you could say, well, and so just quickly what I can show is I can say, well, I'm going to get the help of the other people that are on the team. And I say, Liz is going to bring in 64,000.
Oh, yeah.
Right, John's at 15. I'm going to bring in the big deal, okay. And then right here we'll look at Nicholas at 54, and I got another one for 58. Okay, so that's kind of how we roll up some of that business, okay, to get the total here. All right.
Lovely.
Yeah. But other times maybe we want to look at it like, hey, when are those deals going to come in? And so once again, not to rehash the whole opportunity, the ways we can look at it, I just get excited about it. I can do it that way. And one last week, someone's like, "Well, can you pull some maybe business from 21 into 20? Like, can you slide it over?" And so, okay, let's look and see what we have. Once again, I just click on one button, show me the deals outside the target, and there's a couple other ones that are in here. Okay, and so maybe I can say, geez, I really need to deep dive into that one as well.
Nice.
Okay. So visually, it's great, but like you said before, sometimes you want that paper, right? Or that
Yeah,
report,
sometimes you
right?
do.
And so right from here, remember, it's already filtered out. No need to change it. I can even hit save if I want to, whatever. And I could just say create a new report. Okay. I could do it as a dashboard. I'm just going to do it as a regular standard report, and I'll just call it bear, and I'll just put like today's date just so we don't get confused on which one it is. Okay. And I can say, here it is. Here's all the information going on with it. Okay.
Mm.
Of course, I can sort it and group it. I think we did a great job covering that in our
Yeah, yeah.
reporting. We deep dove on it. But what if we want to bring in some of those fields, Liz, back to your thing, where
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
watch. So watch. I think we had a couple of them. Okay, I think they started out like under, see where it says primary account fields. So we had one called like
Nice.
CEO core values. Okay, so I click on that, right? And now what I have here, I'm just going to remove my power panel. I have the CEO core values, and both are about turnover and profit. Okay, so of all my deals, of my account, it's all listed here underneath that. So if you were to bring in one account or multiple accounts, I think you can really kind of do those comparisons there too. So
It all just hangs together so well, doesn't it?
doesn't it? It's all coming together, Liz. So that's kind of a little bit about account-based, kind of what deals are going on, what opportunities are in the pipeline, which ones can we report on. I think for some of our enterprise customers as well, especially sales managers there, I think if you really wanted to kind of get into, more forecast reports, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we can do that as well. And the same principle applies, okay? What we just need to do is just identify our filter, turn it on, and then make sure, here, I'll go back here, I'll just do it real quick. This is how easy it is, right? I pick bear, okay, boom,
Okay. Yep.
okay, and I can say, okay, there it is. And I can say, maybe here's my forecast, okay, per month, okay, and then I can even dive in and I think I have too many filters on. I'm sorry, Liz. But I can turn it on and then be able to look at, hey, who the users are. Okay, maybe just myself or everybody on those deals, and then really start deep diving into every month and where those deals are and who has them. Okay, so
Nice.
just a
Yeah.
fantastic way to really, really deep dive into that list view based forecasting to really help out with our accounts. Okay.
That is so cool.
So there we go. So let's just make sure, okay, because I know we had our whole agenda here, okay, and we
Mm-hmm.
were there we talked about automated
Yep.
follow-ups, relationship graphs,
Yep.
account forecasting, upselling and cross-selling, but we haven't talked at all about adding data. Do you want to
Cool.
take over that part maybe?
Yeah, I
Okay, I'm going to
will.
stop sharing my screen. Okay, I'll turn off my video so you don't have to look at me when I'm not talking.
So yeah, you know, this just sort of touching on the idea that in order to do all of this effectively, you've got to have good data in the system to start with,
Mhm.
and some of the ways that Pipeliner can help you do that. So first things first is, if somebody is creating a new record, the system is going to do its very best to help them not to enter a duplicate. Ultimately, if they go ahead, well, Pipeliner can't suddenly just say no, but you just need to be aware of how helpful it can be. Yeah. So obviously, I'm not going to duplicate your favorite account here, but I was just choosing that as an example because it's one that we were just looking at. You can
Mhm.
see over here on the similar accounts, and it does exactly the same for contacts. So it does its very best to tell you that it thinks that there's already something in the database before you just go ahead and whack this new
Oh,
account in.
'cause
And
I
if you're
hate
not
duplicates.
sure,
I
oh,
hate
I know, it's
duplicates.
just that whole duplicates thing. It's
I
just,
know. Okay.
drives me crazy. But, if you're not sure, it's like, is that it or is it not it? Then you can just open it, just straight from here.
Oh,
Have a look at it. Oh, yeah, yeah, there it is. and you just need to think, I'm now, I am one with the angels. I have not been putting rubbish data into our database. I'm just going to move on and do what it is that I need to do, and have a look and see. Absolutely. Sometimes, of course, best will in the world, you will end up with duplicates in the system. Okay.
Yeah.
Whether or not all of your users have the rights to deal with those duplicates is not our decision. Like, nothing in Pipeliner, all of it is your decision. Okay. You manage your user rights. You can decide who has options to delete records, because merging two records together results in one of them disappearing. That's a delete function. Okay.
Okay.
So I like to use list view for managing this data. Okay, I'm not going to actually do it, but tip for the top here, and the reason that I'm focusing on this is because it comes up a lot in support queries and whatever. Yeah, so in Pipeliner, even if you're an admin, you don't get to just go and randomly delete other people's records. Okay, what you do get to do very easily, of course, when you are an administrator, is make somebody else's record belong to you, and that's the first step. It's all you need to do. There's nothing terribly complicated about any of it. Yeah, you just need to have a look at the records, and here's where the power of the list view comes in. Okay, because if you're looking at two duplicates, we don't have any. Oh, we've got a couple in here. Let's say that we're looking at Pipeliner, for example, here. Yeah, these two. Okay, if you're looking at them and you're thinking, well, which is the best? Well, you need some more information in order to make that judgment, right? And in order to see it, all you do, because you just pick, what are some really useful information that, I need to be able to see: name, address, phone number, things like that, probably the sorts of things you're going to be looking at. Well, there you go, straight in my list view. Okay. So now I'm looking at my Pipeliner records, okay, well, maybe.
Yours is probably the most important list.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know. I was
We'll
going to
just
say,
take that one.
I think we'll keep Nicholas's today.
Okay.
But let's say if I was going to take one of these out, yeah, what would I have to do? Let's say that I decided that these two were a duplicate of each other. What do I have to do? Well, the first thing that I have to do is have a look and decide that this one can go, but I need to make it mine before I can get rid of it. That's the only thing that you just need to remember. Yeah, so I'm just going to make myself the owner of it. And then once I've done that, I can click both of them and I get my merge option. And because you've had a look at them, you know which one is going to be the master account. The master account basically means that it's going to be the primary one that stays. Yeah, this is the one that will be deleted. Okay, and you can see, and that's of course why you need deletion rights and why you need to be the owner of it. And then I can click, and I can even do that side-by-side comparison to say, yeah, oh, actually, that's in Bratislava, isn't it? Rather than Vienna or... So I can pick from each one exactly which data I want to be retained, and then I just click on merge. And when I do that, all the opportunities and all the activities and all the contacts that were attached to my non-master record, the one that gamely gave up its life in the name of data quality, they are all they're all linked to this one now.
You
So
love data.
I don't lose anything. Everything's still there. I can click on all my contacts. They're all there. They're all sort of rounded up now to this remaining account. Okay. So even though Pipeline is going to do its very best to help you, if they do sneak through, then you've got that merge option to help you out. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Then, of course, we have some really nice options for data enrichment. Yeah, we call it auto profiling. Most of our customers do use it. Yeah, and I'm going to put in yet another Pipeliner sales record. Having just preached about data quality, I'm going to put a duplicate straight into the database. So, but it's just because our information comes in really beautifully. Oh, if you type the website. So tip for the top here in the website address, no slashes. Yeah. no pipelinesales.com/mobile
that's a
or
pro
anything like
tip.
that.
I
That is
like the
pro
okay.
tip. Yeah, so no, you don't need to do the whole HTTP. No. Just enter it like this. Yeah, www.pipelinesales.com. So all I'm needing to do is fill in my mandatory fields, because obviously I can't save an account without them, and then put the website in. Yeah, and then I can click on save. And then let's just move on and get a refresh on that. And that will fill in information for me. Yeah, as soon as that runs, which it will do at some point, or of course, here's a pipeline, a record that I created earlier. If it doesn't, then it's going to enrich that account from information that it finds, there we go, on the internet, right? So if I open it up, you all saw me. You know that there's no trick here. You know that I only entered the company name and the website, okay? So where did
Where's all
all
that?
this come from?
Where's it come from? And look at everything's filled out on the right hand side too.
Look at all of this.
It looks like you spent a lot of time like
It
profiling your
looks
whole
like,
entire.
yeah. But you saw me. You know that I spent, what, probably 20 seconds entering this account. Nice. Yeah, really nice. So this is the data enrichment. This is the auto profiling working. Yeah. And in an exactly the same way. So if you enter a contact, it's all about the, this is populated information, which again is a really like useful thing. But it's all about the primary email address for the contact.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it
Perfect.
works beautifully. Now, again, there's no magic internet fairy doing this. So you just need to be aware. So, if you have somebody whose Twitter account is linked to a different address, a different email address, it's not going to be able to pull that in. Yeah, so it can only bring you information based on a match on the email address that you enter. And it can only bring in information that the person has themselves made publicly available. So all of this is completely compliant for our customers in the UK and Europe, for example. All of this is GDPR compliant. There's no breaches of data there. The individual whose information is being brought in has to have made that public.
Gotcha. That's very important. Yeah, we respect all of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Now I noticed you filled in like some of the address information got filled in. I mean, is there anything really I can do? Like, is there like a map thing, or what can I do with mapping?
Well, strangely enough, up here in one of the views.
Wait, so you're on the account? You're on the
Yeah.
account. Okay, like we've been.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
We've
map
looked
view.
lots at the list view, and we've looked at the compact view, but look.
Ah, okay then.
Okay, so obviously this is everybody, right? But again, here's an idea that will help for account planning. If you're an account manager, let's say you're planning a trip and you're trying to get everybody in a particular area. Yeah, because you want to actually just visit that area. Well, obviously you can have a map like this and you can click and it drills down, so now we've got all of the companies in, in this particular area. So that is super cool. And when you click on one, you get all the information about them that you've got. But equally, remember your filtering. Yeah, because filtering is just so easy in Pipeliner. Yeah, so I don't know, let's go, if I could spell, let's go country, maybe. Yeah.
You want to come to Florida? See the two accounts. Perfect. I
So
know you
let's
wanted to
put
come
in,
visit me. Yeah.
I love coming over there. It's such a shame we haven't been able to travel. Yeah, so let's hope it's the 2-letter code.
Exactly.
And there we go. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So perfect way of, planning a visit. You can do that by city. anything you want. You could, by zip code, postcode in the UK, whatever it happens to be. And then, literally you just get the plot of all of them, and you can say, well, okay, so, I'm going to go here first, and then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go over to LA, visit Nicholas. Who else shall I see while I'm over there? All of that sort of information. And you get this view on contacts as well, and even on leads and opportunities.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's the idea
Wow.
of, where's my business based? That's
Gotta
more of
love
a,
that.
yeah, but that's slightly more of a sales focus than this account management focus that we're chatting about today.
I know, it's a good trick. Hey, speaking of that, we did talk about a kind of a special treat today to kind of highlight the big event that happened today, July 30th.
Oh, yes.
Right? There's so many cool new things in our latest version of Pipeliner that launched today on the cloud version. Is there any, first of all, where would someone go look and find all the things that were launched today, Liz?
So up here, our megaphone tells you all the news.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've clicked on it before, obviously, because I'm like desperate to see how it all looks and whatever. But if you haven't clicked on it before, it's going to be flashing. Yeah, it's going to have a red symbol on it to alert you to the fantastic new stuff that came out today.
Mm.
And it's all here.
What
Yeah.
do you think are like the top two things? I see this
Revenue recognition, absolutely. So
Oh
that's
my
the
goodness.
idea of being able to split the value of an opportunity, or even the revenue recognized from a product. So that's the idea of a multi-year contract, for example, and being able to say, well, this year, or 5-year contract for 500,000, 100,000 a year. Yeah.
Oh,
You wouldn't want to
nice.
be accounting for the 500,000 because you're going to be recognizing that revenue over the lifetime of the contract. That's what that's all about. A product, a warranty, for example, maybe you pay monthly, or subscription, like software subscription for SaaS companies, monthly amounts recognized, all sorts of options and choices, and each one of them is described here, and you get the click through to our knowledge base for more information. But
Oh.
this one is mine. This is
Oh, that's my
my
favorite too.
favorite. Oh,
This is probably this is a game changer for
it
us.
is an absolute game changer. I
Yeah.
cannot tell you how excited I am about this. I'm plotting to get back in touch with so many people and go, woo.
Yeah. And if I read it, product line items, it's kind of like product line items. What I need a better name.
But it's
But
sort of what they're called, though.
I know, but I mean, what do you think? I mean, from when you refer to that, what do you? Because we were both very excited about it, right? What do
Yeah.
you think? Like one of the primary things as a use case that a company that's selling a product or service, and they've maybe been kind of using our product tables the way they are as of yesterday, right? What do you think this adds to, or what do you think it really starts? Why are we so excited? Why are you so excited, Liz?
Because real life tells me that users want to be able to pick a product from the catalog, and of course, some basic information about that product is just fixed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a particular machine part with a particular number and a description about it. Great. So I can pick it out of my catalog, and I can use price lists and all of that great stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then once it's in on my opportunity, maybe I want to say, well, is this one delivered, but that other one isn't delivered yet? Or what sort of packaging am I going to send this one in, this particular product, as opposed to that next product that's also part of this same opportunity? Or even
Ah.
getting into the manufacturing type situation, very often if you are, in the middle of that hub of manufacturing activity, against your opportunity, you might have, I don't know, let's say 8 products. Yeah. Now, whether you're going to be able to quote on that product right now Depends on all sorts of things that are generally outside of your control, the manufacturing process. But if you've got 8 products there in your opportunity, you want to know which one's still with manufacturing, which one's already been quoted. And that's what you can do, because you can add these dynamic custom fields to line items when you add the product into your grid. So just like this shows you all about it, this is about warranty. This is the individual start date that applies to this product that I've selected. And there's all sorts of examples in here, but it's absolutely fantastic. And it's just a whole new level that we've got to on using that product catalog. It's like a game changer, Todd.
Oh, oh, that's great. And pretty much they go right to the blowhorn. They can click right on there in the
Mm-hmm.
help documents, and your teams and you have probably prepared a beautiful documentation, like always.
Thank you.
If you click on one of them, can you just see where it goes, just so I
Yeah.
can see?
So if we,
It goes right into the help
yeah,
section. Oh,
straight
right
in
there.
there.
Of course it does, right?
Yep.
Oh, and then all the pictures with your documents. Oh,
Yeah.
just making it
Everything's
easy.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if you need additional help or questions, feel free to reach out to your account manager here at Pipeliner.
Yes, most
Or
definitely.
yeah, and they'll be able to kind of walk you through it or see how it may apply for your business, or maybe there's another division you'd like to bring Pipeliner on because we have this new functionality now. So there you go. Well, great, Liz. We're coming up to our hour mark. Okay, so I think maybe we better let everybody go. But this has just been a fantastic experience. I'm really learning so much more about accounts and contacts, and and really kind of mastering that account management job using Pipeliner. So it's always a pleasure
Perfect.
to see you, Liz.
And you, Todd.
All right. Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks, and then we'll be back at it again with another episode of our readiness webinar series. Goodbye,
Perfect.
everybody.
Bye. Bye.